Coffee and Tea Association Forum 2025, Shaping the Future Together, and you're still with me, CK, for Calvin Klein, of course. How was your break? Good, right? How was your morning? You didn't expect the rain? All right. So apart from our delegates and our honorable speakers, not only from China, but also from many countries around the world who'll be sharing ideas and also the thoughts, the fruitful information to be shared from not only China, from not only Thailand, but also up next, it's very privileged for me to welcome the CEO and founder of Australian Tea Master Association. So for those who are from Australia, Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. All right, there's only one speaker from Australia, right? I do it again. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. All right, thank you very much for your kind participation. And we'll be talking about trends in the Australian tea market and global tea culture. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming to the stage Miss Sherin Johnston. And now the floor is yours.
Off to a good start. Hi, everybody. And thank you very much for the invitation to speak today. I'm going to give you a very quick brief on the Australian market, and then I'm going to talk about some of the global trends that I experience when I'm teaching around the world. Australian tea market is very small. We have roughly around 512 million US dollars. We've got a big rising health and wellness opportunities in Australia with a lot of herbal and functionals. We've got a very strong coffee culture, one of the strongest in the world per capita, which really does affect our tea sales. And non-alcoholic beverages are on the rise. So here's an example of one of our small farmers that actually use a Taiwanese type processing methods. We import around 13 million kilos of tea a year, and Japan has invested in our green tea production down south. Majority of our tea imported is Sri Lanka, India and China, and most of our tea is machine harvested because our labour costs are so high. Where's Australia going? You can see the little dots on the map there. We really don't produce much. And 95% of the consumed tea is imported. So you see, we have big opportunities. And after that wonderful presentation by the gentleman from Singapore, I can see that we have a great opportunity for Thai tea as well. The ready-to-drink category is growing very quickly in Australia, and private label as well. So we have a lot of niche brands that are white labelling. So that's really changed our market, where we used to have a lot of the big brands have now gone to a lot more small and niche brands, even in the supermarkets. And brewers are also interested in tea and using it in beverages. That's one of the examples of modern RTD drinks that are available. We also have sparkling iced teas blended with herbals. And the other thing is zero sugar. Zero sugar is a big thing in Australia because we have a very big wellness focus in Australia. So I hope people want to stay healthy. So low alcohol, low sugar is really important. And here's one of our brands that we invented, which was a zero alcohol beverage made with tea. So in this we have a white tea Sauvignon, a blush tea rosé and a black tea Shiraz. This is zero alcohol and zero sugar, and this won the Innovations Award. So it shows you can use tea in an exciting beverage. So we've gone from having the classic, we were a black tea drinking company. People started demanding more from tea. Why? Because of our specialty coffee industry. People wanted more variety and they want to know more about origin, like where did it come from? They want unique flavours, and they also want to combine wellness with tea. So what's going out in Australia? It's the classic English breakfast. This is happening because of our focus from the specialty coffee industry, and it's no longer acceptable to walk in and be offered English breakfast tea. So we're trying to push out now origin focus. So what's in is origins. People want to know where's the farmer, where's the location of the farm, and specialty coffee, as I said, is helping drive this. So we're looking for more exotic blends and more wellness blends. So with our breakfast blends, in our education side, we've been talking to a lot of people to try and get origin of breakfast blends. So we've created a range where you know the story, you know the farmer, you know the origin, and things like these breakfast blends are a classic example. So we've got Kenyan breakfast, Sri Lankan breakfast, we've got Indonesian breakfast, we've got all sorts of different breakfast teas using regional origins. And Earl Grey is the second most consumed black tea in the world, black tea blend, I should say, sorry. So even Earl Grey has now got a twist. Rather than the classic bergamot, we're putting a lot of different ingredients with Earl Grey to change the taste. One of the big focuses now, and we're very lucky, is our Australian natives, and we're exporting this quite a bit, although it has got limited supply. They have a great health functional benefits. And we've got things like our lemon myrtle, which has been exported all over the world. Some of the things we're doing is we're combining Australian natives with tea, sometimes Australian, sometimes imported teas, and these are a couple of examples. This is some of the Australian natives that we're using, and it's very important if you're growing something in your country that's unique, you need to incorporate it in your blends. So things like strawberry gum, we've got desert finger lime, which is a new, it's really ramping up in sales. We've got quandongs, we've got kakadu plum, and Australian blends with a difference. Here's a classic native Australian blend that we've made. With our Indigenous blends, so our Aboriginal people in Australia using the native ingredients are actually creating their own brands. And this has opened up a big world for them. So we have, this is one of the groups, bm.th, and the other one is Black Brews. Black Brews won a big competition with Gordon Ramsay, and so now the Indigenous blends are going overseas as well. Matcha, I think everybody knows. I did a radio interview yesterday. Matcha explosion is all over the place. And matcha's really in the spotlight, but blended with lots of different ingredients like collagen, vanilla. It's in RTD drinks, it's everywhere. And so that's really pushing people into the green tea market because they're actually reaching out and trying different things. We have mushroom as well, mushroom powders. A whole range of mushroom powders are becoming some things like lion's mane and reishi and turkey tail, all the different sorts of mushrooms, things that the Chinese people have been using for years, are actually putting together with matcha. This one's a Texan brand, Matcha and Mushrooms. And so matcha mushroom latte blends are also popular. Blending is the big thing. Blending is so important. People really don't, they get bored with single origin teas in the basic specialty, not specialty market, but the general market. And so blending helps with creativity, using unnatural flavors, using your own home ingredients, using new ingredients, using matcha, and creating wellness blends. So blending really does help us in the stepping stone to improve tea sales. And then we've got our, as I said before, this is lion's mane mushroom, something that I remember years ago going to China and seeing and wondering what it was because we'd never seen anything like it, and having them dried and adding with matcha. The floral botanicals, like your basics, lavender, rose and chamomile, of course, are still trending in a very well-balanced way around the world. But what's changing is the use of the fruits. So where we had dried fruits, we are now using a lot of freeze-dried fruits. And that's becoming much easier to use. It's more expensive, but it's becoming very popular. And there's a couple of favourite trends I've put in there for you, things like orange, ginger and cardamom, berry, lime, peach and passion fruit, something a bit different. And things like blueberry and lavender. I mean, years ago we wouldn't have thought about putting that together. Beetroot, dried beetroot is becoming popular, raspberry and hibiscus, cherry blossom and goji berries, so unique blends. And then mushroom again, but this time in chai. So And cacao, chocolate and mushroom again. So mushroom is really popular. Chai is still very, very balanced. I don't think you can find a cafe around the world now that doesn't carry a chai of some sort. But now we've got a lot of different chais. We've got golden, white, green, dandelion, which is obviously no caffeine, and rooibos chai. These are some of the chai brands, the chai syrups that you can see. This one's called Dirty Tea, and then we've got masala chai concentrates, another couple of different chais from around the world. And then that was another one of our blended chais. And so the other thing is the functional blends: sleep, pick-me-up, fitness, relaxation, detox, skin and beauty. Those type of wellness blends are really going well. Things like adaptogenics, things like immunity, detox, hemp. Hemp is big as well. We're finding a lot of people wanting to blend with hemp. Collagen's in everything, as I said. Glow, calm, detox, sleep. So wellness really is a big part of tea around the world now, wellness functional blends. These are some of the collagen blends. This is a Canadian brand which has got the dreamy sleep teas. This one's Focus. We've got tropical green teas. And then we've got alcohol-inspired tea blends that don't have any alcohol but have all the flavours, like gin fizz, white tea Sauvignon, black tea Shiraz again, but this is in a dried leaf format. Just quickly going over the different markets. We've got the Sri Lanka tea market, which has gone from traditional teas like this into specialty teas and handcrafted. And here's some of the handmade teas they are making in Sri Lanka, which are proving to be very popular in the specialty market. Then we've got the Malaysian tea market experiencing strong growth, but again in RTD and herbals. Here's some of the different brands: kombucha, matcha, Earl Grey, jasmine and matcha, oolong teas. And then we've got matcha competitions. Matcha competitions are the way to encourage people to get started in tea. And as you can see there, this is a place in Japan working with specialty coffee baristas. And all new tea innovations in Malaysia doing the same thing. Lots of matcha. There they are lining up to go in the matcha competition. This one I'll quickly show you. I know we're all on limited time, so I have a lot of slides. This is a very interesting new tea shop.
Tea is more than just matcha.
Oh, we got this
out there, and Betcha Tea Namansar Uptown is showing us what it can be. PC, the founder, is a 4th-gen tea master. His family has been in the business for nearly a century, but he's not here to do things the traditional way. Because let's be honest, tea has always had this serious old school vibe. But here, it's fun, a little rebellious, and honestly, kind of wild. We did a full tea pairing session, but not just the usual sit down. We brewed it ourselves. Every steep tastes different, and it really made us appreciate the craft behind a single cup. And the food wasn't just here to complement, it amplified the tea. Like unlocking flavor notes you didn't even know were there. At Betcha, it's not just traditional tea either. We also did a hands-on tea mixology session where you start by picking your flavor, then you mix it yourself. It's like building your own tea cocktail minus the alcohol. Unexpected pairings, but somehow they work. It's bold, it's refreshing, and it's completely reintroducing what tea can taste like. If you're ready to spill the literal tea, start here.
So that's just a new example of what's happening in mixing older people with younger people and ideas together. And of course, China is the world's largest tea market. They're doing amazing things with tea. They're modernising tea, modern packaging. They've got some beautiful specialty teas, which is really started to be appreciated more and more with the younger people. They've done a lot with their packaging. As you can see, the pu'er cakes now, the dark teas are being wrapped now in bright colours. They're using alcohol beverages based with tea. This is a oolong fruit lager and a matcha beer. A lot of different tea with jellies and teas, and then brewing methods. Then we got the Indonesian tea market, which is an amazing specialty tea market. They've got a lot of farmers have created the specialty tea association. They've got to really focus on low sugar, health and wellness, and bubble tea, of course, is everywhere. I don't talk about bubble tea that much because it's still popular in all the countries. But Indonesian market has a few challenges. Of course, getting specialty tea because they've always been a commercial tea growers. And then here's some of the Indonesian brands that have been around for a long time but working with farmers. Beautiful packaging. This is Singapore market. I'm having to hurry now because we're getting to the end of TWG, but again, bubble tea's big in Singapore. The Japanese market, beautiful tea rooms, traditional, experiencing a lot, not in their local market, but obviously matcha and their specialty teas. Here's some of the different beautiful little cafes they have. And this one here. Korean tea shops I've just come from. Really amazing. They've spent millions of dollars on this tea shop. It's not, sorry, I were right. And this is one I'll just quickly show you. I've got a problem with, okay. We've got in that one, we've got an automatic, sorry. It's not going back either. Yeah, I just wanted to show you. This is robotic matcha. So you can see the idea, super matcha. And USA, we've got, this is one of the new brands, just for guys. So USA Tea for guys. We've got Love and Obey brands, beautiful packaging again. And then all the flavours and wellness, the old companies are going to wellness as well. Then dessert blends, tea and dessert. And here's some of the things we're up against in tea. You can see this is one of the biggest expensive supermarket chains in USA. Look at the different niche tea brands, only small quantities of each, and this is the RTD area. So you can see what tea is up against. Taiwan, they're focusing on quality artesian teas, and they again doing beautiful packaging. And also one of the things that's interesting is tea and fashion. They're filming models in the tea fields, which is really helping promote tea to the younger people. This beautiful group is working with working with tea farmers to help them promote tea. And then the Indian market, premium teas, all beautiful packaging again. And this is one of the Indian tea shops. They've got 500 of them, all decked out like this. And bagless teas. Vietnam, the humble street stall, elegant tea rooms, and of course, this is a brand just for farmers. So globally, the tea market drivers are World Tea Expo, tea tourism, tea education, innovative sustainable packaging, biodegradable tea bags, tea varieties and wellness blending. Specialty tea and origin stories is so important to have origin stories. Tea Masters Cup and tea competitions. So as I said before, globally blending is important. Lifestyle blends, wellness blends, innovation in tea packaging, so fast to market, easy for consumers, and global transparency and sustainability, as well as sugar-free. Resurgence of high teas really helping the tea market, promoting us with specialty tea and tea menu development, tea and food pairing. As I said, Tea Masters Cup competition involving younger people in tea. And this is World Tea Expo in the US, putting in a big tea bar for the first time, and it was amazing. It brought so many young people into tea. As I said, education is a global tea driver, and tea conferences like this really help us. I'm sorry I had to go through my presentation so fast, but I had a lot of pictures to show you. I want to thank everyone for this Global Tea Forum, Tea and Coffee Forum, because coffee and tea really do go hand in hand. So thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed.
Thank you very much indeed. Anyone has any questions? You can proceed to the mic provided for you in the central rows. Well, thank you very much for sharing the current trends in the Australian tea market while also exploring how global tea culture is evolving through innovation, health awareness, and cultural exchange. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause to Miss Charin Johnston, the CEO and founder of Australian Tea Master Association, coming all the way from Australia. Well, thank you very much indeed. Well, ladies and gentlemen, before we proceed to the next session, a little reminder that the presentation slides can be downloaded via the QR code provided for you on the last page of the agenda, which is included in the goodie bag you receive at the registration ขออนุญาตนะครับสำหรับท่านใดที่ต้องการจะดาวน์โหลดสไลด์นะครับเรามีเล่มนี้มอบให้ทุกท่านที่จุดลงทะเบียนนะครับในกระเป๋าที่ได้รับนะครับหน้าสุดท้ายจะมี QR code นะครับเขียนว่า lecture handout สามารถดาวน์โหลดสไลด์ของ speaker ได้เลยนะครับขอบคุณครับ Well ladies and gentlemen let's now proceed to the next topic which is Japanese green tea in global market opportunities and challenges. And we are very privileged to have Mr. Tsukamoto, who is a senior professional with extensive experience in tea industry, specializing in the promotion and development of green tea on a global scale, active in advancing sustainable cultivation practices and fostering international cooperation within the tea sector. So, Mr. Tsukamoto, onegai demimasu ka? I hope I say it right. So now the floor is yours. A big round of applause, please.
Thank you in Japanese. I'm Tsukamoto from Japan. I'm a managing director of World Green Tea Association. Thank you for inviting this forum. It's very glad to attend to present our association. The presentation is divided into two parts. Part one, the current situation of the Japanese tea industry explains the trend in tea production, prices, the consumption, as well as the trend of green export from Japan. Part two, World Green Tea Association activities explains the main activities of the association. Based on the current situation and challenge discussed in part one. Finally, we will introduce the World Tea Festival 2025, which will be held in October this year. In the past 20 years, the area of tea plantation in Japan has decreased by 20% and tea production by 30%. This is mainly due to the aging and decline of farmers. On the other hand, production of tencha, the raw material of matcha, has increased. Looking at price trend, the price of first plucking tea, which is traded at high prices, has fallen to about half of its peak price. This is due to a decline in demand for high quality tea and gift tea. Domestic production and consumption have declined by 20 to 30% over the past 20 years, while imports have fallen by 80%. Exports have increased sevenfold. This shows the trend in annual expenditures per household on green tea, leaf, and tea beverages. In 2008, green tea leaf was 47% and tea beverage 53%. Meanwhile, by 2024, the beverage will account for 73%. Tea beverage at 20-point increase. There has been a shift from green tea leaf to tea beverage in short period of time. The total amount of both is also increasing. In the past 14 years, the export trend of green tea from Japan has increased fourfold in volume, accounting for 12% of domestic production, and ninefold in value. The unit price has also increased 2.2-fold. When analyzing the destination of Japanese green tea export by country region, the United States is the largest market, accounting for approximately 30% in quantity. This is due to growing interest in health as well as the boom in Japanese food. When analyzing the relationship with home, the proportion of powder type is higher in the US, UK, and EU. On the other hand, the proportion of leaf type is higher in Taiwan. The unit price of powder type tends to be higher than that of leaf type. We analyze the import situation in US, and the largest market for Japanese green tea export. In terms of quantity, Argentina, China, and India account for 60% of the total. Meanwhile, in terms of value, Japan has the highest share at 15%, followed by China and Argentina. The unit price of green tea import from Japan is 35 US dollars per kilogram, which is extremely high and 7.4 times the overall average. Japanese tea is considered to occupy a unique position in US tea trade. Let me summarize part one. There is a shift from leaf tea to tea beverage. Export of green tea are expanding, with matcha in particular being traded at high prices. In order to increase added value, it is important to develop new products and find new sales channels. Promotion at trade fairs and branding are important in order to develop overseas market. Moving on to part two, I will explain the activity of the World Green Tea Association. First, an overview of the association. The World Green Tea Association was founded in 2006, and the governor of Shizuoka Prefecture is its chairman. There are two pillars of activities. One is to collect and disseminate information about tea and around the world. The other is to promote and spread tea culture. Here are some of our main activities. First, we will promote our product at international food fairs. We will have people try a variety of Japanese teas. This will reveal that there is a strong preference for teas with strong flavors and aromas. Also, the number of people overseas who enjoy Japanese tea is steadily increasing. In the future, it will be important to provide information about Japanese tea and how to enjoy it. Next is Shizuoka Tea Study Program. This is practically training for people involved in the tea industry overseas who wish to do business in Japanese tea. Over the past 9 years, 78 people from 20 countries have taken the course. We have posted a review by a trainee from US. He commented that he was able to tour the production facilities, the Tencha and Gyokuro field, and the Tencha processing facilities located in a picturesque mountainside. He was also intrigued by the emphasis on sustainability, including revitalization of abandoned farmland, and environmentally friendly method. Next is World Green Tea Conference. This conference is held every 3 years as a part of the World Tea Festival. Here is an overview of the 2022 conference. Experts from the US, UK, Germany, and Japan discussed the theme of exploring the potential of diverse Japanese tea around the world. Here are some comments from speakers. Sharon Hall from UK commented, green tea imports have increased by 30% in 3 years. Consumers are tending to spend more on matcha and green tea. Maximilian from Germany pointed out green tea exports from Japan to Germany are increasing, and green tea account for 30% of tea consumption. Rona Tisson from US commented, millennial aged 26 to 41 are shifting from coffee to tea. Green tea is expected to have a great health benefit than black tea and oolong tea, and is ranked in the top 10 superfoods every year. Next is the World Green Tea Contest. This contest is characterized by its comprehensive evaluation of product, including not only the quality of tea, but also the concept, packaging, and naming. It started in 2007 and has approximately 1,800 entries. Last year, 186 entries were submitted. In recent years, the number of entries from overseas has increased, and the country is gaining, and the contest is gaining recognition as an international contest. We will introduce the future of one of the product that won gold medal in Thailand. Mehan is a small village located here in Chiang Rai. We went to great lengths to produce tea that has a light flavor and is easy to drink for beginners, low in caffeine, and promoting good health. This white tea is produced in the winter from ancient tea plants that are more than 500 years old. Next is Ocha Pioneer Award. We praise the first group publicly for their effort, who contributed to the tea-related excellent academic research, industrial technology, or product, and tea cultures for the expansion of good tea consumption. In 2025, Dr. Piapong, head of TCMFU, won the Challenge Award. The theme was Empowering Tea Community in Thailand. Here is a part of her achievement. Serving as head of the Tea and Coffee Institute at Mehfar University, Piapong came up with 4 pillars to realize the TCMF vision: research, training, global network, and improving competitiveness of Thai tea in the global market. Congratulations. This is the Chaoi Forum, Cha Open Innovation. I will explain the overview. By combining the materials, techniques, and know-how of tea traders and other industries, we aim to create innovative tea product and new value and demand for Shizuoka tea. 3 coordinators assigned to support new product development and sales channels development by promoting consulting and matching for the approximately 800 members. This is an example of collaboration between a liquor brewing company and tea industry professionals to develop a functional food dessert. This is an example of how espresso machines are being used to promote Japanese tea in Italy, where coffee culture is mainstream. Finally, let us introduce the World Ocha Tea Festival 2025, held every 3 years. It is the largest tea event in Japan. It will be held in Shizuoka City in October this year. In conjunction with this, our association will be hosting the World Green Tea Conference 2025. Speakers from overseas will be invited to hold discussion on the theme of global green tea market expansion and the branding. We look forward to seeing you there. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. Anyone would like to ask the question? Questions from the floor? All right, thank you very much. Once again, Mr. Tsukamoto Tadashi, arigatou gozaimasu. ขอบคุณนะครับ Thank you very much. Another big round of applause, please. Well, up next, ladies and gentlemen, are esteemed speakers coming all the way from Denmark. And she'll be talking and sharing with us about the future of specialty tea in the Nordics. And she is a visionary tea entrepreneur and educator with 16 years in the specialty tea industry, renowned for pioneering sustainable tea cultivation in Northern Europe and advancing the education of European tea professionals, skills in creating high-impact tea experience and fostering cross-cultural collaborations in sourcing, education, and gastronomy. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the Vice President and the Chair of the Education Committee of European Specialty Tea Association, Ms. Alexis Crow.
Thank you.
Over to you.
First of all, I'd like to thank everybody for the invitation. This is really a privilege for me to come over here and to allow me to speak today. So, there's a quiet revolution taking place in Europe in tea at the moment. And I'm here to share this powerful transformation. It's reshaping how we grow, brew, and experience tea. In several western, northern parts of Europe, coffee has been dominated for so many years, even in some places centuries. However, tea and botanicals are bringing a new narrative to ritual, mindfulness, and sensory sophistication, appealing to much younger generations. It's also carving out space in wellness, gastronomy, and sustainable lifestyles. So, going beyond black and green teas. European tea culture is moving beyond traditional black and green teas today. Consumers seek more function, more meaning, more connection. While white, yellow, oolongs and fermented teas have been available probably since the 1990s, they've only just started trending, and probably with the acceleration the past 5 or 10 years. And this has been due to the wellness, sommelier programs, and broader shift towards international and experimental consumption. I think we've all mentioned today about the matcha mania that is taking place in Europe, all over the world actually. Matcha actually arrived in Europe, northern part of Europe, back in the 60s and the 70s, but it isn't until about 2018 and onwards that it's been really, really trending. Especially Scandinavia, Western Europe, matcha is featured in health stores, cafes, concept shops, and obviously in newsletters and magazines. Its alignment with maximal wellness, natural aesthetics, makes it especially attractive to Denmark, Sweden, Germany. Germany was actually the first country that had uji matcha in their ice cream, in their Häagen-Dazs ice cream. And that was back in the early 2010s. Nordic fine dining began with integrating matcha into savory dishes, desserts, and drinks. From 2023 until now, we've been experiencing a huge matcha surge. This matcha has now become mainstream. It's in most menus, it's in the supermarkets. So demand has been skyrocketing. And this is due to posting, TikTok, Instagram, and it's usually the Gen Z and the millennials who are ditching coffee, avoiding sodas with sugar and alcohol for functional drinks. The rise in the specialty tea movement in Europe is also a contributor to this. Matcha is being used in many skincare products, sports nutrition, and functional beverages. However, there is a mismatch between the production and export readiness. Japan historically focused on domestic and consumption for ceremony quality. The matcha used for these drinks, for lattes, ice cream, and ready-to-drink teas, are usually affordable, very cheap, stable in color and taste, and produced in large quantities. Japanese producers are not scaled or equipped to mass-produce industrial-grade teas, matcha teas that still require high quality. With the rising demand from the US and the EU, logistics and grinding capacity can't keep up. Stone mills, which are traditional and slow, can't scale this rapidity. Even with modern grinders, there's bottleneck in processing which meets export timelines. Most importers have actually this year experienced not being able to get matcha or having to wait several months for it. So, functional teas, have become really popular. These nourish the body and mind, and this is due to the young generation prioritizing health and wellness. By reducing sugar and alcohol, you get more mental clarity, better sleep, and physical well-being. Teas offer functional benefits: adaptogens for stress, L-theanine for focus, and herbal blends for digestion and energy. So, what is taking place in Europe at the moment is local products from Nordic forests to Mediterranean hillsides. A lot of foraging is taking place, and things like birch, heather, and nettles are becoming stars for our beverages today. These provide local stories, so teas are being blended with these products, and they're very native to the area, and this is what the Nordic tea trends have been using, or the Nordic foods have been focusing on. They provide terroir, depth, and authenticity to the cup. Tea is being produced in Europe on a small scale, but the association Tea Grown in Europe association has sort of members from 16 different countries in Europe, and that includes the islands, and over 60 producers in Europe. Many of the producers are from France, and many small vineyards are now sort of moving on to produce tea instead of wine. And this also changes the way we think agriculture in Europe as well. So tea has been really, really in huge demand. And there's only a few growers, but I can see on almost a monthly basis, new growers are coming to Europe. So as we see here, this is a picture of the tea that's grown in Europe. We know that tea has been produced in Portugal for many years, the Azores, but France, Germany, Jersey, Britain, has both in Scotland, in North Wales, and in southern part of England, parts of Sweden, and again in Denmark we produce small amounts of tea. So provenance is really, really key in this. People need to know exactly where their teas come from, and they'll pay a lot of money, not just for the area, but also for the quality. So, in Europe, we're reinventing the tea ritual. Whereas before it was brewed in teapots, today we're using different ways of brewing teas. Very often teas are brewed in baristas. So it's brewed in espresso machines, it's brewed in any way that you brew a cup of coffee, then you also brew tea. We're having cold brewed teas, cold brewed oolong sparkling teas, and teas that we share with pairings. This is reshaping hospitality. There are many people who serve tea, they actually do a pairing with their teas, or they provide teas that suit certain foods. So it's no longer confined to the teapot, and it's a vibrant, ready-to-drink tea designed for a modern culture. One of the people that's really, one of the groups that's really trending at the moment is the Alchemist in Copenhagen. It's 2025. It is one of the, it's number 5 on the world's list of best restaurants. It has, it's a show when you go there. They provide tea with 2 or 3 settings during a meal, and they showcase the tea. They make it into an event. So this is really happening now, where food is being paired with tea, and food included in the tea, and then it's been done to a showcase. So tea has been brewed at the table with the guest. Let's see if I can find a bit more. So, minimalism meets sensory design. What is happening here is that the creators of tea equipment, tea porcelain, are really working with the restaurants to provide equipment or cups, pots that really enhance the tea. Just as we have in wine, we have a certain wine glass for a certain type of wine. We're doing the same thing with cups and teapots for tea. An oolong tea will probably have a special shaped cup, and this has been shared with restaurants, gastronomy, so they're actually selling or serving the teas in these certain utensils. Chefs are developing huge sort of menus that include tea as an ingredient. So tea is not just about flavor, it's about intention, pace, and peace. So in the wellness retreats, tea is also being served as a way to relax and enjoy your time. Just a minute. Yeah. Focusing on aesthetics and function, the way we brew tea is also very important, and how we serve what we serve to it. Tea is a culinary element, with chefs building menus and around infusions. Menus include fermentings. They use tea-based sauces, broths, and marinades. And they're tailored to each course and mood, elevating tea to a wine-like experience. And these embrace the subtle delicacies of the meals, of the food. And of course, tea blending, that's becoming very popular. So herbalists are blending teas with many of the plants and whatever we find locally. And consumers want a sort of a botanical intelligence, ingredients that nurture the body, mind, and soul. Right. So, values over volume. Natural, traceable ingredients. Consumers want clean, transparent, honest products with clear origins, free from additives. Functional health benefits. We choose tea and botanicals for how they make us feel calm, focused, nourished, where wellness is essential. Local stories and terroir. As provenance, that really matters. Consumers connect with place-based narratives and ingredients that reflect their environment. Then there's aesthetic simplicity. Minimalistic design and rituals elevate the tea experience, making us feel relaxed. So where are we going? Where are we headed? Well, it's more about impact on the body, the planet, and the soul. So on the body, it needs to nourish, calm, energize, or heal. On the planet, we need to grow tea sustainably with respect for the ecosystems and communities. On the soul, it offers beauty, presence, and meaning. This reflects growing interest in wellness, climate ethics, and mindful consumption. So this quiet revolution is not loud, it's powerful, but it shares wellness, sustainability, creativity, and they converge together. So let's shape this future together. Hopefully in the future we can work together on, brewing really good teas. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and a big round of applause to Ms. Alexis Crow. Thank you very much for sharing fruitful information and excellent presentation. Any questions from the floor? All right, and that would be the wrap-up of the future of specialty tea in the Nordics presentation. Well, thank you very much once
Thank
again.
you.
ขอบคุณครับขอเสียงปรบมือดังๆอีกสักครั้งได้ไหมครับ นี้เนี่ยเราก็จะมีหลากหลายท่านจากหลากหลายประเทศด้วยกัน so I'm mentioning that we are also extreme honor to have our remarkable speakers not only from Thailand but from all over the world, from many continents, from the region and from the world as well. Well, up next we will dive into the information with the topic of tea in Indonesia, opportunities, challenges and path forward with this speaker, who is the experienced product manager in the specialty tea industry with expertise in organic tea production, product development, and market positioning. Passionate about promoting Indonesian specialty teas on the global stage and actively involved in community building within the Specialty Tea Association Indonesia. I'm talking about Mr. Rono Cahaya Gunawan. Please welcome to the stage. Now the floor is yours.
Okay. Anyway, thank you for the introduction. It was, I think, very, it's too much for me, but thank you so much. And actually, good morning for everyone that's here. It's truly an honor to be with you all today and sharing about Indonesian tea. The slide hasn't started yet, but I can just start with opening so we can like skip through. Okay, so a bit of okay, so let me just save this first.
Well, the technical issue is something that we have to adapt ourselves, and it happens all the time.
Yep.
It's totally normal. But once again, ladies and gentlemen, let me emphasize to you once again that we have the QR code provided for you to access to the slides presentation of our remarkable speakers on the last page. Lecture handout on the agenda that you're given at the registration. So I now believe that our speaker is ready. So let's proceed back to Mr. Rono. And I promised that this will be the last session in the morning before we take a lunch break.
Yeah.
I know that many of us are right now starving. Anyway, Mr. Rono.
We need lunch first before we can continue it.
Oh, really? No.
No.
All right. So over to you.
Yeah. Okay, so already done the previous opening before, so let's just continue with the slides. Before we continue with the slides, I think we need to look back in our heritage and potential. It's important to acknowledge where we are currently standing in the market. So Indonesian tea production has been facing a decline since 2002 till 2023. And up till 2024, just now, we are also still facing a decline. This is mainly because many hectares of tea land has been vanished, especially in West Java and North Sumatra. This is where mostly all the government plantation is. And we're still, and for us, the smallholder, we're actually growing in the total export market. So it's a good thing, but the whole production that we can produce as a smallholder, it still cannot compete to whatever the government are producing. Compounding to this issue is shrinking area. With the shrinking area is critically low production productivity of the tea plant, since most of the tea plants that we have is coming from the old the era when the Dutch are still in Indonesia. So the productivity time for them has been lowered down significantly. So our legacy is more than history. It's also a foundation for us to step forward. With the land that we have, the biodiversity, the area, we are sure that we can still sustain the market in the long run. So before talking more and delving into what Indonesian tea is, so it's important to go back and see what we are. This is an old footage from our plantation. This footage is over 100 years old. This is same like most of the tea plantation here in Indonesia. Most of them are over 100 years old. Some of them are over 200, 300 years old. That's where the time where Bosca is there, and then doing and expanding the whole tea industry in Indonesia. Okay. And yet, despite all of this, Indonesia remains under press in the global specialty tea market. We have the land, we have the craft, but we don't have the representative. So this begs the question, why Indonesian tea and why now? In the next slide, we will learn what set us back to be able to perform in the market. So this is what I was saying before, the declining tea plantation area in Indonesia. Since 2002 till 2025, we've lost around 50,000 hectares of tea fields, which the government has changed into much more profitable and much more productive agriculture, like oil palm oil, vegetable, and other horticultural products. Like I was saying, these changes happen mostly in the governmental plantation. And then old roots, low yields. Most of the tea plants is also a very old tea plants dating back from the Dutch colonial era. That's why when the productivity time is over, they don't do any new development yet. So this is a big challenge for us to be able to keep on producing and also keep on supplying the teas. Also missing generations, as usual. I think the same problem is in Japan. I heard the same problem also in Thailand just now, that the younger generation sort of like lost interest in the tea or in the agricultural business. They're much more interested in chasing the high life at the city. And this is the condition now. It's about 60% of Indonesian tea farmers are age 50 over. I think this is mostly the same like other producing country. We also have low domestic consumption compared to other countries like Turkey, UK, and Japan. Indonesia has around 0.3 per capita per annual consumption. So it's really small compared to other countries. This is why we're sort of like stuck with the condition of whether we should expand locally or internationally for our product. And also the price pressure and fragmented identity. Indonesia, since the start of our export in the world, we have never been represented in a way like other countries. Our tea has only been marketed as a product, as an additional tea, so we don't have any identity whatsoever. So this is what happened up till now. We have underdeveloped branding and traceability of the product. We always go with the bulk tea model with no origin story, minimal value, and then often blended. I mean, most of them are blended. And then compared to the branded tea model that has much more representable, marketable identity that the company can sell. So we're actually a giant that stays quiet. We have the land, we have the altitude, we have the history, and we have everything. But we are almost invincible to the global tea market. This is why we have to change. We have to change, and in the next slide, I will show you what the roadmap that we're trying to achieve in this past 1-2 years. So number one is the organics and specialty tea market growth. And then we go with the herbal and functional innovation and empowerment for the smallholders and branding Indonesia as tea origin. Okay, so first we're going to talk about the organic and specialty tea growth. Globally, organic and specialty tea growth is growing from 1.13 billion in 2024 and expected to be 1.7 billion in 2032. And of course, Asia Pacific region accounting for about 42%. We're talking about from Australia to China. So everything in between, we account about 42% of the global tea market. And then next, we are empowering smallholders. As the previous slide stated, that the government plantation are shifting from tea to other ingredients. That's why we are empowering the smallholders to be able to produce tea uniquely to their characteristic, because we believe that each terroir, each area, it's possible for them to produce with the right productivity method that they can apply to each of their tea. And next, herbal and function innovation. The demand for functional beverage is growing. And in Indonesia itself, we are also have local wisdom, and of course, the mixture that we have for certain either like disease or any complaints that you have for the body and everything. So we are incorporating this into our blends. Most of the blends that we use is coming from the lemongrass, ginger, turmeric, pandan, and butterfly pea. And this is new. If we look at the condition of the worldwide market, how the branding works actually, there's a matcha in Japan. I mean, everyone knows matcha nowadays. And then there's Ceylon in Sri Lanka, and then there's Darjeeling from India. This is all geographic prestige for them, whereas Indonesia doesn't have it. we just have this. This is the new logo. Just yesterday, they just celebrated this. It's called Jatayu. I think this is pretty. How do you say? It's this is like Garuda, if you know, which is also, I think it's also famous in Thailand. So what is the meaning of Jatayu? If you ask me, Jatayu stands for honesty and standing to what's right. And this is a logo that we made to be able to say that this is 100% Indonesian, from the roots, from the production, until the packaging. So we are, besides that, we are also doing innovation at the plantation part. We do regenerative practice. We are discussing with the farmer on doing regenerative practices to make new clones, even though the clones that we have might not be the best that we can have. But what we are doing, we are replanting it again. But this takes a lot of fundings, and also time. That's why maybe with this forum we can find joint cooperation that we can do to be able to grow together. And next is agroforestry model. We've been doing agroforestry model since 2004 in our own plantation. The agroforestry model is not 100% undershaded, but we are doing accompanying planting with the spices and herbs and trees in our plantation to be able to still have the protection against the local pests. Next, we are also encouraging to get the energy from nature. The easiest one from our area is the water. We have our own natural spring that we can actually utilize to make electricity. The electricity itself will power the villages, will power the factory, will power all the needed necessity for electricity. So we are aiming for zero carbon and also for better utilization from the nature. And this is what we do. We are also doing education and inclusion. We are, you see here, we are going to each village surrounding the plantation, and then we are doing presentations and looking for people that is passionate about tea and can help with, of course, the lower employment rate at that time. So next is the direct trade and trust. This is what we are always trying to build with all of our buyer, either from Europe, either from Japan, or either from Middle Eastern. We always shorten the supply chain, so it's a direct from the factory to the customer, if possible. It's not too many hands handling there, because of course that will encourage the increase in pricing and decrease in adaptivity in the market. That's why we always encourage this, and ICE as the association, we are an open door for any European company or any company that are looking for direct farmer to for supplies. So this goes back to IC collaboration. Our association is a sandbox for collaboration, training, promotion, and product development. So we provide informations, training, information center for customers looking for tea, and producer looking for customer. So we are also supporting mixology contests, industrial workshop, and farmer exchange. So we talk about your role in the story. We are here in a global tea and coffee and tea forum. So Indonesian tea needs a sound, needs to be recognized in the world as one of the producer in the world of tea. We have been under-branded, under-developed for a long time. So with this forum, I hope we can join together and then we can grow Indonesian tea. We revive it again, make it sexy, and then presentable to the market. This is also the new wave of tea entrepreneurship that is happening in Indonesia. So I think we need to also guide them to be able to represent more of Indonesian tea. So I'm just going really fast. So this is actually a new chapter. I'm really happy that I'm here at this forum, so we can make a new connection, a new understanding and cooperation. Because tea is not just coming from one country; it's the world tea. We are living in the same world, and where we are also together in this tea condition. So hopefully when we're there and we're somewhere, just talk to us, and then we can create something new. Thank you so much.
And yes, together we're shaping the future. Any questions from the floor? I believe that we are all starving, having not patience at the moment. Well, thank you very much, especially the Tea Association of Indonesia, especially Mr. Rono Cahayana Gunawan. Terima kasih. Well, thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for lunch. A fine selection of food and drinks is ready for you in the next room. You can just simply exit this convention hall and turn left. We'll see you again for the afternoon session, which we promised will be filled with insightful presentations and information covering many aspects of tea and coffee. Well, a little reminder, please wear your name tag at all times and be back in this hall by 1:30 p.m. For now, enjoy your lunch. ขออนุญาตแจ้งให้ได้ทราบนะครับเดี๋ยวเราจะกลับมาเจอกันกับช่วงบ่ายของกิจกรรมของเรากันต่อกับ Global Coffee and Tea Association Forum 2025 นะครับแจ้งให้ได้ทราบเพิ่มเติมอีกนิดนึงนะครับผมว่าห้องทานอาหารกลางวันของเราก็ออกจากห้องนี้ไปอยู่ทางด้านซ้ายนะครับแล้วก็เราน่ารบกวนนำป้ายชื่อของท่านติดตัวไปด้วยตลอดเวลานะครับแล้วเราจะกลับมาเจอกันกับกิจกรรมในช่วงบ่ายกันต่อในช่วงเวลา 13:30 น.ช่วงนี้เรียนเชิญทุกท่านตามอัธยาศัยได้เลยครับขอบคุณครับ